Jao, et on en retrouve un autre
In
cher
Senegal,
Cette fois,
French
on
is the
commence par
national
du
language.
sport, exceptionnellement. En attendant que notre invité nous
But
rejoigne sur
what
ce
do the
plateau.
people of
Chef,
Senegal
on
speak?
démarre par du week-end bi. ñu ciy ànd
In
ak
this video,
Cheikh
the
Tidiane
predominant
Diagne.
language
Cheikh
being
Tidiane qui
used
aussi
is
joxe
French with a
agenda
mixture
sportif.
of
Cheikh, maa ngi lay
Wolof.
maa ngi lay ziar
Could it
soxna
be
Aram,
translanguaging?
di nuyu aussi téléspectateur yu TFM di nuyu tamit suñu gan gi.
In Senegal, there are 16 recognized languages since 2005, 41 documented languages, and many more varieties of languages.
mënoon seet wax bii bu muy jóg mëtul sax ñaari weer FBI tegaat na fi tànkam parce que la transaction est faite en dollars, pas en dollars.
Before any colonial or religious outsiders entered West Africa, the Wolof people called Senegal home. To this day, Wolof is the most widely spoken language, with 44.5% of the population pertaining to this ethnic community. The first outsiders to arrive and impact the already existent West African societies were the Muslims.
The Islamic Empire reached the Senegal region around the 11th century. In terms of language impact, Arabic was introduced to the society and became intertwined with the Wolof culture and language. There is a long tradition of written Wolof in Arabic script called Wolofal, which demonstrates this complex cultural connection.
94% of the population is Muslim, making Arabic a language that is widely known but not spoken. It is written and used in urban spaces to assert religion affiliations. After the Senegalese kingdom was overthrown, the Muslim religion persisted despite French presence, which protected their religious identity.
Even though the Islamic religion persists up until today, colonization forced Senegal to shed much of their cultural and linguistic roots and adopt French as a language of instruction, power, and wealth.
The French assimilation that started gradually from the 1940s eventually reached all aspects of society, including education. The French education system was adopted and stayed even after the decolonization in 1960. In the 1960s to 1970s, President Senghor promoted the use of French for all institutional life in Senegal. This spurred a pro-Wolof counter-movement from a small group of intellectuals who advocated for the Wolof language to be recognized alongside French in all aspects of society. In 1971, Wolof and 5 other languages are recognized by the Constitution of Senegal as national languages, but French remained the only official language. Some argue that keeping French as the official language was part of a nation-building effort because the French language is not tied to any ethnic groups in particular, and therefore using French may avoid rising tension between ethnic groups. However, Wolof is widely spoken and used by various ethno-linguistic communities to communicate with each other, which might show that Wolof could have been the official language without any ethnic disagreement.
The education system continued to develop in the late 1900s alongside all of these political events related to language recognition and use in society. With this development of education came critical observations about students and their performances, one of which was literacy.
Upon finding that about 75% of adults in 1988 were illiterate, the government initiated literacy project with the goal of reducing illiteracy by 5% nationwide. This project is relevant to multilingual education because it addressed the literacy of students in whichever language except French. A comprehensive 10-year effort to improve the literacy rate in the country was launched in 1993 and enrolled over 1 million people in literacy program over a 10-year period.
In 2009, ARED, the Associates in Research and Education for Development, designed and implemented a bilingual pilot program in 30 classrooms. ARED, an NGO created in 1990, was originally an initiative for the conservation of the Pular language through the publication of a variety of books for children and adults. Additionally, in 2009, ARED also monitored an early grade reading assessments in Pular, Wolof, and French to measure reading competencies in 180 classrooms. The assessment showed that reading skills were higher in the national languages.
In 2014, after the success of the pilot program and the stable partnership between ARED and the Ministry of Education, the simultaneous bilingual program was given further funding by Dubai Care to scale up the project to over 98 schools and 101 classes in 3 regions from December 2014 to August 2018, increasing education quality as part of Senegal's national strategy.
On the tails of this exciting and promising development in multilingual education, language policy in education took a slightly disappointing turn. The USAID in the Reading for All program began working with the Ministry of Education in 2016, founding bilingual education exclusively in reading for grade 1 and 2. The mother tongue language represented increased from just Wolof and Pular to also include Serer.
And the program will expand to up to 7 regions, including 3 regions where the bilingual education program was available. While there are more languages and regions including in this new program, the Lecture pour tous or Reading for All program does not actually provide a bilingual writing education, which may limit interlinguistic transfer, and it does not provide bilingual content instructions. Additionally, in 2021, the USAID plans to hand over the Lecture pour tous project to the government, even though ARED is actually the one with the expertise in bilingual programs implementation and management.
While we have addressed the bilingual primary education program in Senegal, which are only available to a small portion of the population, we now turn to investigate the daily usage of language to see the relevance of learning a national language at school in addition to official language.
To assess public attitudes and actual usage, we examine cultural evidence and primarily and more specifically popular music and media. We gather that though French is supposed to be used in all institutional aspects of society, the general public uses other languages in everyday life, like Wolof.
Further, even if it is not the child's mother tongue, learning basic skills such as writing and reading in a national language forges children's sense of belonging in the Senegalese community and culture. Even parents are shown to be more invested in their children's education. Therefore, a mismatch between the learner's language and the medium of instruction might have a great influence on school repetition, failure, and dropouts.
Unfortunately, the French language continues to be pushed in the education system since it is associated with a higher socioeconomic status. In other words, speaking the official language remains essential in order to access higher education or increase one's employment opportunities.